and welcome back to another episode of Insight Outlook. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite stand-up comedians, Dave Attell. I've talked about stand-up comedy before in my Patton Oswalt episode, which I recommend watching. Unlike Patton Oswalt, Dave Attell doesn't have a second career in the entertainment industry. He is pretty much a pure stand-up comic, although he has hosted some comedy TV shows. If you look at Dave Attell's Wikipedia page, it'll say he's most well known for hosting the TV show Insomniac with Dave Attell, which was a show on the Comedy Central TV network from 2001 to 2004. I don't actually think that is what he is most well known for, except for some people between ages 40 and 50 who watched the show when it aired. Anyway, more about the show later. Dave Attell is generally not well known. He's one of the best comics of all time, but I don't think many people know him outside of stand-up comedy fans. So who is this guy? I don't know much about his early life. He's a lifelong New Yorker, born in 1965, 59 years old as of this episode. He grew up on Long Island with his parents, who owned a tuxedo rental shop. He worked in the shop as a teenager. He went to Hebrew school, and his father was president of the local synagogue. Side note, personal note, I'm not Jewish, but when I was around 7 years old, I was friends with the Jewish kid next door. I went with him to some Hebrew school hangout of some kind in the evenings. All I remember about it is that it was fun, and I liked some blonde Jewish girl that was there. That's my only memory of it, and I only mention it because it's a weird former memory that can only be confirmed by my former neighbors, but they probably don't remember me. My father's gone, my mother's memory is gone, I think my sister was too young to remember. The memories we have that no one else can confirm are weird. Okay, back to Dave Attell. He has a younger sister named Monica, who has had a career in the music industry as a singer and now a teacher. He also has a younger brother, but I don't know anything about the brother other than he has 2 kids. Monica also has kids, and apparently all of Dave's nieces and nephews go to Ivy League schools. Side note, if someone attended Harvard, Yale, or Princeton, they would say the name of the school. But if it was any other Ivy League school, people usually just say that they went to an Ivy League school and don't mention the name of the school. Dave was in the Boy Scouts, and he mentioned that he almost became an Eagle Scout. I was in the Boy Scouts, and like Dave, I also almost became an Eagle Scout. I had all the requirements, I just had to complete an Eagle Scout project. But the project was convincing all your friends to do some charity work, like clean up graffiti, and I just didn't feel right making my friends do grunt work so I could become an Eagle Scout. Dave graduated from NYU with a degree of communications in 1987. Dave said he hated college, but his parents put a lot of pressure on him to get his degree before starting his stand-up career. After college, he started performing in stand-up comedy clubs, and he was already on TV by 1988 on the old music network VH1's Stand-Up Spotlight. You can find a lot of other stand-ups performing on the VH1 Stand-Up Spotlight, but I've never seen any video of Dave Attell from back then, unfortunately. The earliest stand-up set I have seen of Dave Attell is from 1992 on this old TV show called An Evening at the Improv. It's a 6-minute set and it's funny. You can find it on YouTube. Attell's first big break in showbiz was his appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman in 1993. You can also find this video on YouTube, and it's similar to his 1992 at the Improv set. This set is what got Attell hired on Saturday Night Live as a writer for the 1993 to 1994 season. Dave Attell did not do well at SNL, and he has said himself that he just was not a good sketch writer. He was not rehired after the season ended. During his time on SNL, he met fellow comedian Sarah Silverman, and they dated for a couple of years. I don't have much detail about the relationship other than she broke up with him and he was in love. The rumor is that she dumped him for another fellow comedian who was on SNL, Colin Quinn, and that Dave has been bitter about women ever since, but this is just a rumor. I don't know much about Dave's love life, and I'm a big fan of his. I don't know if he's extremely private or terminally single. I think he used to date a lot more, but a combination of quitting alcohol around 2007 and becoming a permanent road comic around 2012 hasn't given much opportunity. Dave even said having pets isn't really possible because he's on the road so much. He seems a little lonely. I hope he's happy. So after SNL, he had a strong HBO half hour come out in 1996, followed by another strong half hour in 1999 on Comedy Central. And then his hit TV show came out in 2001, Insomniac with Dave Attell. It aired at midnight on Comedy Central. The show ran for 4 seasons and was popular. The show wasn't actually canceled. Dave just decided to stop doing the show because the drinking was becoming excessive. Insomniac was a great late-night show, and it's highly rewatchable. The episodes are still interesting, and they're a time capsule to late-night city life in America in the early 2000s. During his time on Insomniac, he put out a legendary comedy album called Skanks for the Memories in 2003. Whenever I do my yearly Dave Attell binge, I usually start with Skanks for the Memories. So by 2005, Dave is 40 years old and he's just come off a successful TV show. Even though he's doing great at this point, it seems like the years 2005 and 2006 are Dave's weakest years creatively, and he seems a little extra tipsy on stage. So in 2005, Dave puts out a DVD comedy special called Hey, Your Mouth's Not Pregnant! Now, I don't think I mentioned Dave as a dirty comic. I mean, most of the great comics are dirty to some extent. There are some exceptions, but his humor is always playful, it's not dark or even crass. But yeah, that is a pretty bad name for a DVD, and it's not his best work, but it's still worth watching. It's still Attell, and it does have unique material. And it's nearly 50 minutes long, it's one of his longer ones. In 2006, he put out another DVD called Dave Attell's Insomniac Tour, a 2-hour comedy special which also features Sean Rouse and Greg Giraldo. This is a treat because I love Sean Rouse and Greg Giraldo's comedy as well. Unfortunately, they both passed away too early. Dave does about 35 minutes of unique material split into 3 different chunks. But like his 2005 special, not his best work, and he seems extra inebriated on stage. Soon after the Insomniac tour, Dave quit drinking alcohol. He has mentioned that he was shitting blood, he had kidney problems, and his liver was enlarged. In 2007, Dave released a HBO comedy special called Captain Miserable. It's a strong special, although a little short at only 37 minutes. Dave has mentioned that he thinks 37 minutes is the perfect time for his sets. He says that people don't like hour-long specials, but in my opinion, the longer the better. Even though Dave is one of the best comics in the business at this point, his entertainment career is not going so well. He hosts The Gong Show on Comedy Central in 2008, but it's canceled after only 8 episodes. In 2011, Dave put out a show on Showtime called Dave's Old Porn. It's like Mystery Science Theater 3000, but with porn. The episodes will be Dave watching a porn movie from the 70s or early 80s, back when the porn movies had real scripts and tried to be like real films. And he would have 1 or 2 of the porn stars from the film and a fellow comedian joke about it with him. This sounds like a good idea for a show, and it was done well, but it wasn't popular and was canceled after 2 seasons. And Dave put a lot of his own money into making this show and claims to have been basically broke around this time. So now it is 2012 and Dave becomes a full-time road comic. Dave was already a great comic, but he began to hone his talent even more to become one of the greatest of all time. In 2014, he put out a comedy special called Roadwork. It's 41 minutes, but it's filmed at 5 different clubs and it switches and has different openings. So it's probably around 37 minutes, his usual time. This special is absolute murder. It's one of the best stand-up specials of all time. Rapid fire killer joke after killer joke the entire time. In 2018, Attell puts out a special with Jeff Ross called Bumpin' Mics. It's Dave and Jeff making fun of each other, improvising, and doing crowd work. It's not a normal comedy special, but it showcases Dave's off-the-cuff talent, and it's really funny. And now, Dave's latest special, released on Netflix on March 26, 2024, called Hot Cross Buns. The first 30 minutes are outstanding, rapid-fire comedic genius, similar to his Roadwork special. The last 7 minutes of the special is this crowd work bit that I didn't really find funny. Not sure what was up with that, but the rest of the special is amazing. Dave Attell is on tour right now in 2024, and I'm fiending to see him. But of course, he's not coming to Houston, and I just missed him in Austin. Well, if he's touring your city, I highly recommend you see him. We're coming to the end of the episode, but I'll say a few things before I go. Dave's mom is still alive in her late 80s, and by all accounts, is the sweetest person in the world. She has late-stage dementia, and Dave pays for her around-the-clock care, which he said is over $100,000 a year. Dave has done USO tours for the military in the past, and his favorite charity is Operation Purple, which sends military kids to summer camp for free. Dave is one of my favorite comics ever. My only complaint is that he's not prolific. I actually think Bill Hicks, who died at age 32, has put out more material than Dave Attell at age 59. But Dave does have a ton of material he just doesn't use for his specials. It only gets used in the club for the live audiences, and then it's gone. Look, Dave is a chain smoker, he looks unhealthy, he's old, and he's not gonna live forever. And he's brilliant. Do whatever you can to see this man while he's still alive. This is a reminder to myself as well. That's all for today's show. If you have any thoughts, disagreements, whatever, let me know in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell to get updated about the next episode. Thank you.